The OnePlus 9 Pro has just been revealed. In this video, we have the OnePlus 9 Pro design, also some leaks about the OnePlus 9, specs of both devices and release dates, OnePlus 9 and OnePlus 9 Pro details, and the biggest changes when it comes to the design and cameras of these phones. Before we get into the OnePlus 9 leaks and details, check out today's Amazon deals. I will link them in the description below to check those out. Black Friday coming up, there are a lot of discounts. We'll start with the OnePlus 9 though, and we got some leaks earlier this week about some hardware and designs as well. This came from 91 Mobiles. I have to say that a very reputable leaker though, Max J, tells us that this may be not the design. He has a different design. Obviously, there are a couple of prototypes going around. Firstly, the big difference is that the panel on this phone is flat. So a flat screen instead of a curved screen like we got with the OnePlus 8 last time. Flat displays are making a comeback though. We're seeing the S20 and S20 Plus, rumored of course, coming with flat displays, iPhone having flat displays. I have absolutely no issue with the flat display and I still think they can look very premium. And to be honest, in 2021, it looks like the trend is going towards symmetrical bezels on phones rather than just having curves. There's a battleground of around $600, $700, $800 and a flat display with symmetrical bezels does look really, really good. The iPhone pulls it off. This is what the S21 and 21 Plus are gonna have. When it comes to the screen specs, 6.55 inch display on this one. That possible flat display, we'll have to wait and see though. And of course, OnePlus carrying on with their high refresh rate screens. 120Hz is tip for that phone. So they're not going to up it to 144, but yeah, I think 120 is a good spec. Also on this device, we see a dual camera, so a main and an ultra wide, no zoom. That carries on for what OnePlus have been doing. It does actually look like the Note 20 Ultra camera array, and even though there have been some rumors that this might not be the final design, it does actually match up with the OnePlus 9 Pro's design as well, which we'll get onto later on in the video. We also have a hole punch here as well on the top left hand side, not moving it to the center. I guess Samsung are keeping that design for themselves once again in 2021. Like I said, Max J, very reputable OnePlus leaker, saying that actually the OnePlus 8 that he has seen is a little bit different to this. So there's obviously a couple of prototypes going around of the OnePlus 8. This is one of them and this is what it could be like. Moving on to the big one though, the OnePlus 9 Pro, and OnLeaks has done it once more. More of his CAD renders coming out. And we know that OnLeaks gets these leaks and CAD designs and prototypes. So we can be very, very sure that this is the design of the OnePlus 9 Pro, or at least a final prototype design. We are apparently getting two models in the OnePlus 9 series, the OnePlus 9 and the Pro. There have been some rumors of maybe an Ultra or a Pro Plus like Huawei did and Samsung do, but apparently that won't be happening this time. Going through OnLeaks' CAD renders and leaks, the release date for the OnePlus 9 series will be in mid-March next year. That's the tentative date. We can't confirm the exact date, but mid-March is a similar date to when OnePlus usually release their devices. The display on this phone will be a curved display at 6.7 inches, so more or less the same as the OnePlus 8 Pro. It may even be the exact same display. In my opinion, no need to change it. It's absolute quality. It's absolutely stunning. 120Hz, really good quality. You get a bottom firing speaker on there, top earpiece speaker, of course, for that stereo sound, power button on the right. OnePlus keeping their alert slider above the power button. It's kind of unique to OnePlus. I really like it. The back material is apparently glass too. As we know, the OnePlus 8 Pro had wireless charging and we wouldn't expect that to be taken away in the OnePlus 9 Pro. The screen also keeping the top left positioned single cutout. Biggest change for me is the camera array on the back. So moving from that center positioned slim oblong, now going to the, well, what I would say ubiquitous Android camera design. OnePlus, I guess, resisted it, but they've just gone full pelt into this design now. And we're seeing Realme do this, Oppo using a lot of the same components. So we'll be getting a Huawei or Samsung style camera array, but with a little bit of a OnePlus twist. It looks like the two main camera lenses, which will be the main and the ultra wide, just getting these metal rings around the lens openings, which I think is a nice touch. OnLeaks tells us that the latest prototype that he has seen or has information on looks to include a quad camera system. So that would be an ultra wide, a main, a zoom, and then the fourth sensor, well, we have to assume it is just that completely useless color sensor that OnePlus put on the OnePlus 8 Pro. It could be a depth, it could be a macro, or that color sensor. All of these add absolutely nothing to the phone. Just my opinion. You can get very good macro shots from a good ultra wide lens. A color sensor is utterly useless because you can get all of the same effects through software. A depth sensor may be quite useful, so I hope that they switch from that stupid color sensor into a depth sensor, at least giving us some better portraits and some depth effects. It also looks like OnePlus aren't including a periscope zoom camera in here. The caveat here is that OnLeaks even said himself he doesn't get the internal camera array information, so he can't be 100% sure of the setup, but just looking at the design, it doesn't look like there's space for a periscope zoom. We would therefore assume there would be a 3x zoom lens on the OnePlus 9 Pro. I hope that they increase the quality here because the OnePlus 8 Pro, you could definitely tell there was a step down in quality on that zoom lens. So I hope they spend the money on a better lens and or a better sensor. The chipset in both of these phones, the OnePlus 9 and 9 Pro, will be the Snapdragon 875. The 875, yet to be released, is a 5nm chipset. It's got some really good power improvements over last year. It is including a brand new high-powered CPU core called the X1 core. This is going into the 875 and should actually mean that the peak performance is about a 20% or so improvement over the 865. Other than that though, Qualcomm is saying that other areas of the chipset have much better improvements. For example, machine learning is 100% better than last time, which obviously is huge, but kind of difficult to get our head around right now. Qualcomm will be unveiling this chipset in December officially, and we'll know all of the specs that it can achieve. Something the Snapdragon 875 will support definitely is 8K video recording. It's already supported on the 865, and we get this leak from TechDroider telling us that the OnePlus 9 Pro may actually support 8K video this time around. 5G is going to also receive a big improvement in this phone. This is a second generation where 5G is kind of ubiquitous in these Snapdragon chipsets. The new modem that will accompany the Snapdragon 875 will also be manufactured on a 5nm node. So we should get more efficiency, faster speeds all around. That is even if you have 5G in your area right now. When it comes to OnePlus in 2021 though, expect some big changes from this brand. It started off as a small project and a small brand that tried to go really high end, and that's going to change in 2021. Rather than just going for 1, 2, or 3 high-end phones a year, we'll be getting loads of budget and mid-range phones from OnePlus with a bunch of different names. Following on from that, we do also get rumors about a new OnePlus Nord, something maybe called a OnePlus Nord Lite or OnePlus Nord SE. Whatever the name is, not really that important, but what we do know is that OnePlus will be releasing a lot of phones in 2021, mid and budget phones as well. So I'd like to know your thoughts. Do you like the old OnePlus where it was kind of a small team with 1 or 2 products? Or do you think that more choice, more mid and budget phones is better? More choice, always better. Let me know your thoughts about that in the comments as always. That's it for this one though. Thank you for watching. Thumbs up if you liked it, and I'll see you in the next one.